need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me, don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. can find a paradise within your heart. You can find what I despise within your mind. All the dangers they've been made up, you believe what they say. Through the heartache, I will stargaze, no invasion today. We've come this far, through wind and rain alone. So take your chances to embrace the waterfall. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you get me at the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around yours?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another Team Verum match, this time up against GSG9, one of the more challenging opponents they'll be facing in the season, no doubt. It's going to be a tough one, but I think that Team Verum definitely have a shot at pulling through. A lot of these players on the side of GSG9, formerly from Premier, whether it be this season or another, it'll be Team Verum who are on duty to step up and show what they have tonight on Dust 2. Second map of the season. Things are still early days, but things don't get any easier, so we'll have to hope and pray they can pull through as we get right into things. Black screen? Surely not. I'll fix that after the knife round, assuming it doesn't fix on its own. But as knife round comes through, the knives come back and forth we go, and it's Verum who win it out. One moment. There we are. Not sure why that is exactly, but hopefully it fixes in just a sec here. Third-party software in your... It did. It wiped out my entire config. That's cool. Fix that up real fast. I apologize for the delay. It was unexpected. Shouldn't take long now as we head right back into the server. Hoping and praying. Fingers crossed. Oh, Counter-Strike gods, please allow us to get into the action without any more delay. No way. Is it still black screen? Oh my lord. I don't actually know then. I'm not quite sure. Well, oh, it's working. We're good. We're fine. We're fine. Into it. Verum had won the pistol round, and we unfortunately missed that. I once again apologize. It was completely unexpected. In the B site, though, it's only George holding down the fort, and Rise has already been tagged up in mid. Pushed up at long, it says Wana as well. And the CTs look like they want to go for some sort of mid-aggression here. Teammate team tagged down as well. Scotty now low, and Pendulum being hit by the Deeg as well. Rise, players softened up. Could finish the job. Not just yet. Instead, he goes and helps over towards B. Lying in wait is Chu, who spams through. Nothing found. It's actually the T's who are starting to be whittled down little by little. Close to the smoke up at Catwalk, though, says Wana could meet an untimely fate to Scotty, who is very low, actually. Both of these players are within one Deagle chest shot of being taken away, and says Wana will fall off. Sound cue will have been heard. And Hendy's going to come over to help out. The burst out onto the A-bomb site. Being readied as we speak. And the CT ready to defend, it says Wana. He's going to try as he may. Flashbang goes high for him to peek back, and he will at least try. But he's forced off of his angles well and truly as they cross through long just the same. Bomb will be planted. And the CTs are looking to save. They've got body armor, so it'll save them an extra 650 into the next round. They've got a scout they can play with as well, and the Deagle's probably not going to get much use, but they're not going to be able to buy into the next round regardless, so they like to save what they can get. Verum, looking good off rip. All 5 alive. Extra cash into their pocket, and they'll have a bonus round into the next. They'll be able to carry over all these weapons and try and do what they can with them, maybe losing a few, but that won't really matter as they build up their bonus with the bomb being planted as well. $800 in their bank accounts deposited, and with time, they're going to need that money. Oh, all they can get, and Rise takes one straight through the corner of the wooden, or concrete wall, rather. AK Galil to be picked up. Not much of a loss on the side of Verum, not much to gain on the side of GSG9, but they'll be able to at least scrap together a little something. Some armor onto the remaining players who hadn't bought. Weapons saved can be passed over, and they'll have another scrappy buy that they can work with before they full invest in round number 4. In the meantime, Verum have an SMG on a Jax now, and he's going to be flying out long first and foremost. Nobody there to meet him. He'll be going out all on his own, flashbang off the door, and he tries to get out, and he will. All successful. Nade from Sezwana will land just behind. He's only got a molly. Rise taking up angle. Into the pit with the scout up high. As the T's slow things down, they'll be waiting, but they'll still be pretty committed to the execute onto the A-bomb site. Scouter doesn't quite catch the player dropping into the pit. Gets hit. Player found with the Galil, as a matter of fact, though, lurking in towards mid, and now they have full cat control. All of mid is in the favor of GSG9, and Verum are stuck out towards long. Smokes the cross. Rise, not taking any speculatory shots. Now he'll stick himself into Ninja and hold for them to peek, but nothing as of yet. AK from Cat, though. Not even yet to peek. They're just bumping into one another. He and George. Up close is Sezwana, and as these smokes fade, he's going to need some support. Doing what they can. Sezwana finds one of his. Oh, the Deeg, and he'll double down. A headshot onto Mills from long. He tries to get in late, and he's not able to. AK picked up by George, gets to be carried over. No head armor, no nothing. He makes it through, and Sezwana's going to be able to drop weapons over as well. And Verum are going to have a buyback, but it's going to be less than fruitful. Enough utility just for the execute that they have coming through. They'll have 5 smokes, good amount of flashbangs, no mollies, so they can pull a fake, maybe. We'll see how effective that is. Rise on the big boy gun now, no longer. Will he stick with that scout? But in mid, they've already made their way through. Mid to B. George does what he can on the B bomb site, but they're being cut off. Through the side of the smoke. Pendulum has a lot to do here. Flashbang goes through, and it might have been to send Hendy forwards into their open arms. Pendulum would have caught him right out. So maybe it's for the best that he hadn't have gone through. 3 versus 4 on the retake if they decide to go for it. They have 1 kit onto Sezwana, who's already so close to the B-tons. There's about 30 seconds left and the bomb ticking down just about now. So they have to find their kills sooner rather than later, and that re-smoke from Scotty is pretty much going to seal the deal. It's going to lock them into the tunnels. His 2 teammates are nowhere nearby, and it seems that Verum have answered back and found a third. Thanks to a mid to B split that opened things up. 2 kills is all it takes. A buyback. Nevertheless, for GSG9, as you can see, George and Vane have more than enough money in the reserves to buy themselves with M4s. AWP and 2 other M4s have been saved, and they've got good utility as well, so they're not lacking on that. Flashbangs out and over, excuse me. And Hendy is blind himself. He needs support. Sezwana's here to help him out, and Rise finds one of his own on the sniper rifle, and Sezwana just gets on the other side of the smoke to find one of his. Headshot right into Pendulum, and there's actually an overextend from Hendy. They really don't need to fight for long anymore. Sezwana in the 4 versus 3 still going for this, and finally thinks better of it and drops a smoke at his feet to get away, and Rise is still posted here, but they've already made their way through Cat. Rise doubles down. More to be done, though, with the last 2 players over at long. The Molotov will force him forward or back. They're going to peek into him soon enough. He'll be burning. He'll find another. Drop the bomb. Mills has to find the span through the smoke. And he can't do very much of anything. Now locked in from both ends. As we can see a flank coming in from George, it means that Mills is 43 HP in a dream. Molotov still in his possession. Trying to maybe force out the player car if he were to be there, which he is not. Bomb on his back. Time begins to dwindle. Seems to be aware of the fact that there could be a player in the back lines, and George has been waiting here for so long. He'll take that frag for free right into his chest. Rise, the man of the hour, with a triple kill. Fighting through the fire and the flames. Does good to support his teammates along. Almost thrown to the wayside by Hendy, taking a little bit more of an egregious peek than you would like to see at long, throwing away his life. And Sezwana nearly doing the same, but gets his head set right back on his shoulders now as they make their way out through long. Sezwana can't quite finish the kill this time around as Pendulum does escape to the blue bins. A Molotov at his feet, but he's got a smoke to extinguish it. They're going to run their way up through Cat, and Rise has to turn his attention soon. He does. Tech9 first up. He's going to miss his mark. And then he goes into the site as well. Ajax now able to plant the bomb if he so pleases. He tosses it over to Mills, and he'll be able to put it down planted for Cat now. Player at long dealt with. Retake slow and controlled. 5 versus 4, mind you, and they really don't have a whole lot of time to get through with it. Ajax has to find a couple here, unable to find even one. Scotty from Catwalk, the same story, and now from Catwalk, mollied out is Chu, and Mills has it all to do. 1 versus 4. First headshot not even available to him. A 4K from Sezwana. Defusal now will come through, and a heroic play from the man. One-upping Rise from the previous round to make the retake quick, and clean. I believe they didn't lose a single life in the retake itself, which is quite impressive. Actually, I think they did lose 1. Mills had traded out a kill, but nevertheless, that is a perfect 1-for-1 ratio on round conversions. They trade it back. Even keel, 3 versus 3, and Vane through the smoke, actually, from mid, finds one of his own. As they make their way through, they come flooding into CT spawn. Hendy not quite ready for it. And Vane and George have so much to do. P250 and M4 sprays back and forth, and Vane's still stuck in the smoke, drops the smoke at his own feet. Pendulum will trade him. But George finishes the job. GSG9 now lead by 1 for the first time in the match. Not shying away from the double AWP setup even still. A late mid-smoke. I'm not sure what the miscommunication was there, but they get it through either way. A Molotov to deny the B-rush as they do group up towards tunnels. Bomb is outside of long. Dude. Did he? He did. Took him down right through the side of the door. Rise. Tags up Mills as well. Bomb has now been spotted. Actually, no, it hasn't. They still kept it out of vision. Thankfully so. But cat control has been taken, and Hendy can't do a whole lot to stop them. The AWP has to make its way back, and it's posted up on the A-bomb site. It can't really go any farther forward, expecting them to already have made their way up. So he'll just bide his time and hope that the rest of the CTs scattered across the map can do their job well enough as well. Chu posted up in lower tunnels in case Hendy wanted to make a little bit of a flank play onto the players who have grouped up towards Cat. Nobody at long. Sezwana keeps posted, nevertheless. Good calls. And Chu groups up with the remainder of Verum. Smoke from Mills. Allows for the cross. As they make their way into CT, Hendy drops the first and the second. The CT drop is unsuccessful, and the last 2 are in mid. Trays go even. And Vane has gotten 1 more just ahead of him. A flashbang goes high, but he reacts before it even pops, and Chu swings a little bit too early there, giving Vane the double. The AWPs are ringing true from Rise and Vane. As GSG9 now play up against Pistols, they look to secure a 6th to double the score of Verum. And in due time, Verum will have a buyback. Quick look at the scoreboard. Max loss bonus for Verum at the moment. So the next round will be full of weaponry for them to use at their disposal. Rise fast-catted, but the AWP doesn't go too far forward. He's just going to hold on the angle passively as they grow through the tunnels, actually. It's Chu on the other end. Flashed. Allowed to fight forwards, and he'll only do damage. He tags both of the B players with his deagles, but just can't finish the job. AWP in CT. Missing the timing on the player who had swung mid and taken out his teammate, his comrade, in arms. In tunnels, Pendulum does finish the job that Chu started and knocks down George a peg, picks up the M4. AWP posted on him, dodges the nade as well, and a spam back gets Sezwana. Deagle pulled. 1 versus 2. I would not say that this is a done deal yet. Ooh, the AWP even continues to peek inwards, and Rise goes forwards himself. 2 snipers in the round to try and close it out. Rise, though, is wise to the fact that Pendulum could have made his way back to T-spawn, and he's posted on it. Surely a sealed deal here, as he actually misses the timing onto the shot. Pendulum is granted a second life. Almost dealing with Vayne. Shots take him down to 4, but through the side of the wood, Vayne is better for it. He's granted GSG9 their 6th, despite a scary sight to see. On the last, pistols actually do significant damage towards the end. And you can see the economy is still not all quite there for GSG9, with George and Hendy both not so well off. And, well, a buy is, in fact, through for the T's. A fast through mid from Chu. He's already through the doors, and CT's been kind of smoked out. They're not going to be ready for this. This is insane. This is actually incredible. Vayne already spotted out. He'll find his first on the defense, a second as well, thanks to the damage done by George and Hendy alike. Spams come through the door, and the bomb will go down. Post-plant ensues. And Pendulum looks like he wants to take a little bit of a forward peek here. He's already up towards the window, flashbang over, and he's tagged up. Rise, doing what he can constantly, and inside of tunnels, says he could be the difference maker of the round. Mills, from the back of the bomb site with his AWP, is posted on him, however. A nade goes through. Oh, and he misses his shot, already through door, and Mills missing yet another one. He can't get it done, and in tunnels, it's a 1 versus 1 for Scotty, and he's up top. Not called out. He'll find a triple in the post plant and doesn't even need the support from his teammates. He can do it all on his own. All 3 safe and secure. A double op setup still from GSG9 off the back of that round loss. Maybe not the best of calls, seeing as the 2 players who I had mentioned previously really aren't all too wealthy. George, relegated to only a UMP, has some farming to do. No head armor on 4, but the only player who can capitalize off that fact is Mills with the glills. I apologize for that. Terrible wordplay. Up through Cat pretty quickly and up through mid as well. The SMG's been hurt, and they're going to try and make good on it. Flashbang forwards, allowing George to make his way through. Doesn't spot anyone any longer. And Handy has been on the other side of this cat smoke for quite some time, and we'll hear them jumping around. Once it fades, he has a decision to make. Does he fight farther forward, or does he wait? He decides to wait. He's got a teammate close nearby now. Rise with the AWP posted on the corner, and now Hendy can make his way forwards if he so pleases. The bomb is in tunnels. Slow and steady wins the race as the clock ticks down to less than a minute. And it seems the pendulum is timed out. There has been damage done. If you want to be technical, Ajax is down to 98. So the round, I don't believe, can be canceled. So we'll just play it out as if it's a live round, because that's what I'm expecting it to be. It says Wana, isolated by a molly and a smoke, but Hendy goes over catwalk and takes one of his own, going even farther forward. She was not even communicated that this could be a possibility, so it seems as he's stuck in the smoke now. He's got so many targets all around him. The B-bomb site is Verum's in the 3 versus 3. However, it's Chu who's got to get more, and he will. He'll walk through, and he'll take down, says Wana on the other end of CT. Boosted up. Hendy has to close in on the distance that's been made, and Rise will close out the low HP player at the very least. Spotted in the back of the bomb site. Ajax is gone, and Mills is all on his shoulders in the 1 versus 2. He's already got 1 kill in the round. Khalil at range, and it's going to be the 2 versus 3 retake clutch. Despite things coming close from Verum, if they had that 5th player, I don't know which way it would have swung, but that isn't for me to decide. 6-4. Make it 7. Says Wana leading the server now at 11-5. Racking up the kills and some solid spray control coming out from the A1S in that round from Hendy will do them some good as they pass the weapons around, do a little bit of juggling. They don't have any snipers other than the one on Rise, so it's only the 1 now. Ooh, mid-smoke? I'm not sure if they might have spotted him coming his way through. You can see that Mills is only jiggling for the lower rush if it were to come through, but now extinguish Molotov at beat. casual hold, and Hendy now dancing around the CT smoke that's been thrown early on. Might be in for some trouble. Good nade, but they hadn't made their way to Xbox just yet. They'll now cross their way up. Hendy's not able to spot them out. Rise on the AWP, though, has been sharp thus far in the match. Not having died very many times, gets to carry the weapon over time and time again, and this time will be a little bit different. He'll be challenged well and truly by all these players swarming him from catwalk, and it'll be a test, a flashbang to counter them if they are to make their way through fast, and it doesn't seem like they're doing so just yet. First shot is nailed in CT, waiting for the drop is Hendy, and they're not going to be granting him it. As Rise goes even farther forward, misses his flick. Hendy will find one, misses yet another Rise. The CTs are a little bit indecisive right now, but Sezwana is not. He's deciding to frag out. Hoping that Rise would get a little bit of action on the sniper rifle there, but it's not to be. Sezwana with yet another double kill. 3. Over towards the B side now, one with the AWP. Rise taking up a new position as the A bomb site hadn't worked out as well as he might have liked. They're out towards long again. Oh, and already all the way through with just pistols. Sezwana hears them up close. He's got no gun out, and his teammates got to support him now. Hendy sprays wildly. Can't even find one. Sezwana doing the same, and there's support with the AWP from the spawn, but Sezwana is out in no man's land, and Rise now has to do it all on his own. Crossing. Pendulum is dropped. In the back lines, Rise turns around and finds yet another as the bomb retreats towards T-spawn. It's a 2 versus 2 as there's no been weapons picked up by Verum. Even still, round is very close. Deagle shots in tandem with the Tech 9 spam. Deals with the sniper who had been a nuisance to them in the round thus far in vain. Here's the bomb being planted as well as the other player jumping around at the side of ramp. Takes his head off first, and Jax, the final hurdle between the round and vain, is iced up. Ice in his veins. Calm, cool, and collected in the 1v2. Cleans things up and finds a 9th for GSG9 as we reach the end of the half. The AWP is picked back up. The buy will be good for GSG9, and the buy will be pretty good for Verum as well, but a player has been dropped out of the server, this time not Pendulum. And we're just waiting for them to reconnect as their money is good. I'm not sure if this is going to take too long or not. We'll have to wait and see. Just a moment here, hoping and praying they rejoin faster. And we would expect from a real technical problem. In the meantime, actually, that gives us a good chance to look at the leaderboard as it stands. It's Sezwana still at the top of it all. On the other side of things, Scotty's been pulling his weight in gold across the match. Ajax has returned. We can't quite... Oh, we can see their stats. That's funny. That's odd. We can't see their kills and deaths. We can see everything else, though. It's Scotty with 77 ADR. Actually, everyone else on the side of Verum really isn't that far off. They're all really close in kills and ADR for the most part, as we can see. And on the other end, it's Sezwana and Hendy, as well as Rise, not so far behind. And then George and Vane, the AWP player, putting in quite the numbers right now. But it's the rifles that are heavy-handed on the trigger at the moment. No presence over at B. A flashbang does go over from Hendy at long, where the T's are. Verum are all grouped up in this area, and they haven't made their way any farther forward yet. But the AWP is nowhere here to support the boosted up on catwalk. Just hoping that they get a little bit of action. AWP and Pit from Mills posted on the top of the site, though. If a jiggle comes through from Hendy, it won't be spotted, but neither will Mills, so he's able to rest easy. Knowing that. How much longer do the CTs wait until they get aggressive? The answer is not too long at all. Says one already through middle. Rise to support him from catwalk, and now Hendy Boosts up Vayne. Actually gets boosted into the bomb site himself. Peeking over the side of the Molotov, and the cross smoke had just been there to maybe give off a little bit of false hope from the T's as they'll come through once again. Hendy has players up to the left of ramp, but players to support him as well. Rise finds the first up close. Hendy gets yet another, swinging wide on the ramp. He'll get a third. There it is, the triple, not quite the fourth. Solid stuff from him as Pendulum is spraying away himself, and he'll find a triple kill, trying to complete the ace, but will be unable to do so as he's shut down before things get out of hand for GSG9. They rein things back in, and things are looking good. Things are looking real good now for GSG9 on the last round of the half, round number 15. A cobbled together buy with no sniper for Mills this time around. AKs across the board otherwise, however. And they love their mid plays. They love going through mid very early, and they're going to be aware of this now, the CT side. They'll already have spotted a few. Mid doors has been smoked. Through the smoke, Rise will find one, and Hendy goes over as well. Is Hendy just farming them right now? The answer is yes. The mid to B smoke wasn't as good as they might have liked, and Hendy finds two over the top of it as we switch things around. It's Verum on the CT side and GSG9 on T. We'll see if the pistol round can do them any better in just a moment. Things are a close affair, I would say, all throughout the first half. A little bit closer than you might be led to believe. I think the rounds did come down to the wire on multiple occasions, and the economy for Verum really wasn't there. Time and time again, you'd see the CTs went out with either 5 alive or in the 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 1. And even on the eco rounds, it was Team Verum who were finding a good multitude of kills. Just never able to string those final 2 together, it feels like. I feel like there was always 2 players left alive in the end of days each time, other than the 4-man retake against the anti-eco from the side of GSG9, where they kept 4 of the 5 alive. But on the CT side, if Verum can get rolling early on, there's definitely a chance that they can come back swinging and hitting hard. With the AWPs not even doing a whole lot on their T side, actually. That's another thing to mention, that the snipers really didn't have a whole lot of impact, primarily because it was the snipers of GSG9 who were so on point, pivoting and turreting around. But we know how good Mills can be. We know what he's capable of. And if you're a Verum fan, which I'm almost positive a majority, if not all of you are, then that's what we're really gonna have to hope for in this next half. Great things from Scotty as well. I feel like we saw some really good things from him doing what he can. But Sezwana and Hendy on the rifles, and even Rise on the supportive AWP posting on angles. Time and time again, those 3 would be the ones who were chiming in. Vayne and George not really tasked with doing a whole lot. Also worth noting that the side of GSG9 has a coach. I don't believe they took a tactical timeout thus far, but it definitely helps to have them in the server, another voice to have that can support you in your call making, calm you down, maybe even hype you up if you're not really feeling it. It's very important to keep your mentality and your morale high at all times in these kind of games, because if you have that mental fortitude to come back in this game, Team Verum definitely, on any map, really on any side, as long as you're not putting yourself down, if you get off to a hot start and you're very well versed and you're confident in your ability to get things done, then I really don't see a reason why they can't come back from this. But again, not having that coach might be a hindrance to them against GSG9, who do have one. It can do you a lot of good. And as the restarts come through, we'll see if they have that rock-solid foundation to put themselves right back on track and get the train rolling. Get the steam pumping, get the blood flowing, and all that good stuff. Smokes bought up by both Vayne and Sezwana, maybe for the cross at long. Flashes as well to help get players out. It's actually going to be an Xbox smoke from Vayne. And then probably the smoke for the entry onto Catwalk. 3 players in here towards mid. Scotty and Shu just back-to-back with Mills covering their side. They're going to be flying up through Catwalk, though, and there's no one on the A-bomb site to GSG9's delight. However, there is a fast flank from the CTs coming through the smoke on Catwalk who will catch off at least the very first. Sezwana dealt with, and these last two players are coming to fight as well. Dealt with at least by one more. Mills will find it. Flashbang goes high, and it'll blind up the player trying to retreat just a little bit. And now Mills will finish the job. 2 versus 2 ensues. The player in CT is not long for this world. Pendulum is going to go swinging off the flashbang. What can he get done? Screwing the silencer off of his gun is Pendulum, and Hendy goes high, and he'll find a second in the round. As actually George who will steal it away as they find their 12th GSG9 lead. Look to run away with these last 4 rounds. This is just pistols and a scout in the hands of Mills. Hoping that these players get a solid buy round in by the end of things, which they more than likely will unless they force every round to come. But if they lose this one, I would definitely be going for a full. Ooh, Mills actually does take the challenge in towards mid and finds Hendy as they go towards B. It's Scotty who drops a flashbang to his right, and it'll blind up at least a couple. Deagle spams Strew, and it'll do good damage, but no frag. B-bomb site has been lost, and Shu can only do so much with his Deag as he's mollied away, and the scout tagging Rise down very low as well. It's a 3 versus 3. Rise has been heard, but so has the other CT, and Mills finds yet another, but the Molotov will burn him down to a crisp. Whittled to barely nothing. Ajax has a Deag and a scout to make the 1 versus 2 a possibility. Holding already is Vayne, and he's not holding very aggressively as the player is spotted up towards window. Ajax is aware of where both of these players are, spots the head of the first, fires away. Low HP on the Rise, but a triple kill is his name written all over it. AK gets the job done. Now 18 and 5, barely dying in this map, being the AWP player on the CT side. He gets to reposition time and time again with very little worry as they're up against just pistols. Like I said, Verum with the full save. It's the best call to have been made, I assure you, as the next round will be fruitful for them. They may not have an AWP, but that's going to be the least of their worries. Mills crawls through into underpass undetected, so it seems they have a player in upper tunnels. It says Sezwana with an AK-47 who may be aware of this. He's just dancing around trying to spot something. Mills sees him, spams, doesn't connect, however, and Long is now almost fully seceded to the T's as they find 2 kills. Verum, a successful double at the very least, and Rise is going to run away as he knows that there's very little chance he 1 versus 1s this player and succeeds and gets the bomb to the site if they already have B open and no other player nearby. And Chu is very calm at the moment. Despite being down so low, he's got no worries. They're going to head through window smartly so. He can spot them over the side of the door if they were to try that. As he heads his way through, 1 more kill here would actually be a massive difference between not getting a kill here. As he flies through the door, he doesn't spot them yet, and they'll find him, but he goes in for the further spray to complete the 4K, but Rise completes the team ace instead. Getting a little bit uncomfortable now as the T side, as their money is actually not great with a MAC-10 in the hands of George. AK's on the rest. And they're up against the AWP of Mills, like I had said before. He's going to be flashing for his teammates to get in towards pit if they so please. The SMG takes Ajax down so very low, but Pendulum through the smoke will take the head of 1 clean off and do heavy damage onto Sezwana. So Ajax now has softened up targets that he can deal with as Sezwana gets closer and closer to the other end of the smoke. Ajax nearly deals with him, but no. Dropping down into the pit, they find all the frags required to get the A-bomb site. Surely could have found at least 1 more kill there, I feel like, Sezwana being down so low. It's unfortunate that he doubles down. He'll find 2 kills that are very important to him. And they'll make their way through the A-bomb site now. Hendy on Catwalk tries to keep control of that and keep it. There's no flashbang from Scotty. There is one on Chu, but he's just going to decide to walk through the smoke instead of clearing it out methodically. And that's a spam back from Sezwana that takes Scotty down low. He dinks up Hendy on Catwalk, and Sezwana will complete the quad despite being on 37 health. The round is still theirs. A mixed bag buy from Verum on the last round, possibly between GSG9 and the map win, and we'll See what they can do. Mills successful in mid with the scout once before. Doesn't really even get the opportunity to do anything just yet. Tagged up in mid, says Juana is, though. Ooh, man. And he'll be dealt with. Thankfully, an opening pick for Verum. And they're going to be wiping their brow. A little bit of sweat now lost as the rest of the players of GSG9 are stuck inside of the B tunnels. They've got 2 players on either side, 3 on catwalk, but Ajax is just being aware of the possibility that they head out towards long. Mills has been here with the scout for quite some time. Chu lands pretty much every bullet on that spam, actually, through the smoke to take out Vayne, and now things are looking up. Mills peeks in towards lower tunnels and loses his head. AK tapping away. B-bomb site opened up by 1. 3 versus 3. There's only one more player here. It's Scotty up high. Hasn't been detected as of yet. 2 players still in the tunnels, but they're in lower. They've made their way around. And Ajax and Pendulum are grouped up as well. All going to come down to this fight inside of mid, taken down through the door very low. It's Hendy who's dropped, but both of these players are on less than 10 HP, and it's a 3 versus 2. But how much can you do? Pendulum with the scope. Could be the difference maker. Could be what they need to make this round work, and he can't land even one as George takes his head clean off. Ajax and Scotty are in the 2 versus 2 retake as bombs planted over the top. George finds one more, and Scotty's all that's left, and George completes the hat trick as the last 3 kills come raining through. It's a 16-4 victory for GSG9. A hard-fought victory, for sure, I would say. Verum definitely did put up a fight, but at the end of days, it's GSG9 who come out on top. Certainly not the unlikeliest of outcomes, however, that is how the cookie crumbles. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this matchup, the second of ESEA Advance for Team Verum, as we will be back tomorrow night as well. Don't miss that. I believe we will be playing in our 3rd match against X13. It's an interesting name, but it's a solid roster full of solid players as well. And that game will be at 9 p.m. as well on Nuke. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully pop out and have a wonderful evening.